Los Feliz of today had its roots in the Rancho Los Feliz, a 1795 Spanish land grant. This land grant comprised 6,647 acres, and it included not only present-day Los Feliz, but also Griffith Park and what is now the neighborhoods of Atwater, Silver Lake, and part of East Hollywood. The rancho was about 10.4 square miles in size. The Rancho Los Feliz changed hands throughout the ensuing years until a man named Griffith J. Griffith acquired 4,071 acres of the rancho in 1882. Griffith was born in Wales, part of Great Britain, in 1850. He immigrated to the United States when he was 15 years old. Why was Griffith J. Griffith's first name the same as his last name? The name Griffith is a traditional Welsh name that can be used as both a surname and a first name. Griffith J. Griffith's father was named Griffith M. Griffith. This was a customary, though not common, reflection of Welsh heritage. In 1887, Griffith married 22-year-old Mary Agnes Christina Mesmer, who I'll refer to as Christina. She was the daughter of early Los Angeles settler and prominent businessman Louis Mesmer. He owned one of the first hotels in Los Angeles, the United States Hotel, and is credited with managing the final construction phase of the Cathedral of St. Vibiana in 1876. Christina spoke 4 languages and was a talented musician. The Mesmers were one of the most prominent French families in Los Angeles. Griffith, of course, was well-to-do himself. He had graduated from the Fowler Institute, a college in New Hampshire, with a degree in journalism. He made his fortune in mining speculation, and he spoke 3 languages, English, Welsh, and Spanish. He was a self-made man. On December the 16th, 1896, Griffith and his wife, Christina, gifted to the city of Los Angeles 3,015 acres of land to be used as a park. When addressing city officials with the gift, he said, quote, "Public parks are a safety valve of great cities and should be accessible and attractive, where neither race, creed, nor color should be excluded." End quote. And these words are inscribed on a plaque below the statue of Griffith J. Griffith in the park that bears his name. These words were bold and spiritually aware, and Griffith went on to say, quote, "I wish to pay my debt of duty in this way to the community in which I have prospered." End quote. But was Griffith just striking a pose of generosity, while his primary goal was to look generous? Some of his peers found him vainglorious, a balloon that needed to be pricked. And some of his business interactions were thought to be deceptive and underhanded. And he drank to excess, but was a closet drinker. Around the time of his gift of land to the city of Los Angeles, Griffith adopted the honorary title Colonel, though he had never served in the military. In his defense, it was very common in the late 1800s for men of wealth and status to adopt this honorific title. Griffith and his wife enjoyed summer vacations at the Arcadia Hotel in Santa Monica. This oceanfront hotel was built in 1886 and at the time was the largest structure in the city. It was luxurious and posh and attracted wealthy guests. On September the 3rd, 1903, the Griffiths were at the hotel in the presidential suite. They had been at the hotel for about a month, and it was the last day of their vacation. Christina later paraphrased the following: I was packing my trunk. Griffith was in a foul mood and had been drinking. He made accusations that I was trying to poison him and that I had been unfaithful to him. He was holding his revolver. He told me to kneel down onto my knees and close my eyes. He then asked, Have you always been faithful to your marriage vows? I said, As God is my judge, I have. As I answered the question, he shot me in the face. I quickly jolted up as the shot rang out and escaped the room by jumping from its third-story window, landing onto a porch roof, breaking my shoulder in the process. Luckily, the hotel's owner was in a room adjacent to the roof that I had landed upon and heard the commotion. He was able to pull me to safety through his room's window. He then sent for a doctor and called the sheriff. Though Christina survived the shooting, she was disfigured and lost her right eye. 6 days after the shooting, Christina Griffith had divorce papers served on her husband. Griffith said that what happened that day was very different. He said that he was packing when he heard the shot. He said that his gun was amongst his property at the hotel and that it might have been jostled by Christina as she was packing to leave. Or perhaps she dropped the gun while packing. But powder burns on Christina's face indicated that the shot was fired from close range, and the trajectory of the bullet further supported her account. In the ensuing trial, Christina Griffith told her story from behind a veil to protect her privacy. Griffith's initial defense gave way to, quote, chronic alcoholic insanity, end quote. He was convicted of assault with a deadly weapon and sentenced to 2 years in prison. The judge further instructed that Griffith be given, quote, medical aid for his condition of alcoholic insanity, end quote. After serving 1 year and 8 months, he was released from San Quentin prison. When Griffith was released from prison in 1906, his reputation was tarnished. He was not a popular figure and was largely shunned by Los Angeles society. In 1912, he attempted to donate money to build the Griffith Observatory and in 1913 the Greek Theater, but the offers were rejected by the city because of his notoriety. Griffith passed away from liver disease on July 6, 1919. In his will was a bequest to create a trust fund to build the observatory and the Greek Theater, and the city was obligated to accept the bequest. Griffith's goal in building the observatory was to make science and astronomy accessible to the public. Most observatories at the time were in remote locations and were restricted to scientists. Since the time the observatory was opened in 1935 until the present, admission has been free in accordance with Griffith's will. After Christina's divorce from Griffith, she lived a private life in total seclusion after her brush with death and her grievous injuries that left her disfigured. She did not remarry and lived with her sister for the rest of her life, passing away on August the 11th, 1948, at the age of 84. Christina and Griffith had a son named Vandal, who went by Van. He was at the Arcadia Hotel when the shooting occurred, but did not witness the event. After the trial, and divorce, there is no evidence that Christina and Griffith had any contact. Van, who was 15 at the time of the shooting, chose to live with his father after the divorce. When Christina passed away in 1948, her mausoleum crypt at Los Angeles' Catholic Calvary Cemetery reads, Mary A.C. Griffith. One might have thought that she or her family might have preferred her maiden name, Mesmer. By the few accounts that I was able to find, Van Griffith was a man of integrity and led a meaningful life. Passing away on July the 14th, 1974, at the age of 85. He is buried next to his father. Griffith received the recognition for donating land to the city of Los Angeles that created Griffith Park. Even though the land was owned jointly by he and his wife. A lot is written about this today, but the conventions and social framework of the time were such that men, especially among the wealthy and prominent, handled legal and business matters of the marriage. Griffith Observatory is open to the public and admission is free. It is estimated that more than 8 million people have looked through its telescope since the observatory opened in 1935. More people than any telescope in the world.